Have you ever heard a song so bad that it infuriates you to your core?
Oh my god, bro.
What if I told you that a lot of new gen artists try to capture that emotion on purpose to engagement bait you into interacting with their stuff? Would you even be surprised? No, right? Because in 2026, constantly seeing content that's meant to rage bait you so it can blow up online is like seeing a lactating furry in a mosque. Probably pretty quickly identifiable. Now what if I told you that the label for these mainstream artists so obviously only cares about marketability and take-home profits that these artists are just visual assets to make money on? Would you be surprised then? No, that's been happening since the dawn of music labels. Fuck me, man, can you just act surprised? I got a video to make. In 2026, the main perpetrator of garbage music that blows up because of the discourse it prompts is this group called Cat's Eye, which is essentially just regarded as a TikTok song farm by people with ears anyway, but the reason I'm talking about them right now is because their newest song collaboration is essentially a victory lap by everyone involved because of the fact that they successfully got everyone to talk about them by being unlistenable. The song is called Iconic by Mistake, and in it they highlight that they're popular because of all the hate comments they get. We've come full circle. This is it. This is stupid, but this group for whatever reason reminds me of those bad Subway Surfer clips that they put on the bottom of like movie clips that are meant to engagement farm you into interacting with the post by telling them how shit they are. But now you just put it into song form. And it fucking works. We all know how diehard these fans are for these groups, right? Especially like K-pop. It's fucking sad. But even in Cat's Eye's own comment section, you can find girls or fans or whatever saying, oh, this song fucking sucks, but I like the dancing. Their outfits are really cute, which is really peculiar, right? Because you almost never see that online. When someone likes something nowadays online, it has to be with 10,000% of their being, and if you have a little bit of a disagreement, they're gonna fly to your house out of pure rage and plant a pipe bomb in the toilet. But these fans are obviously invested, and these people are obviously talented, so what gives? Well, the history of this group in particular is pretty nuts. They were essentially handpicked from a competition show in 2023 to form this group that was just focused on being as marketable as possible. Matter of fact, these big corpo soulless media groups might have cracked the code on this shit, because it might just be the single quickest way to get a bunch of money from a bunch of attractive people that have spent their whole life on focusing on being a brand. Have them work really hard and give them a bunch of money so they stop caring about the art, and then have them dance like puppets to your soulless music tracks so that everyone talks about you, regardless of if you're a fan or not, because you still have to have heard the song to hate it. Don't believe me? Let's take a look at the 18,000 page document from their label, leaked during an audit done by the Korean government, in which the label constantly harps on their artists for looks and tries desperately to scour the internet for internet trends it can ride. Even more funny though is that in the files, there was something called a weekly music industry report, and from everything I can find about the document, it had almost zero mention of musical talent or like an artistic vision in the document. So what the fuck was it about? Well, in their weekly music industry report, they were just running data across online communities to see what visual trends, memes, and drama was popping off. In my eyes, they treat music as just like this vehicle or like this vessel to transport visually optimized assets into your TikTok feed. They just want people to care about their next copy and paste group of chipmunks. They're like this guy. But how do we get even more eyes on that? What makes people talk about something that they were never going to be fans of anyway, like me? How do we get people to talk about our next set of data? I have an idea. Let's just make all their music industrial, hyper-optimized slop, and then when everyone and their mom hears it, they feel inclined to comment on how bad it makes them feel inside for being this garbage. Yeah! The industry wins again. I just never feel the need to comment on shit I feel negative about, like in the comment section, because the world just doesn't need more negativity, right? Let's be honest. But whenever I hear a Cat's Eye song, I just get filled up with this pure rage in my heart. And to me, in my eyes, it's incredible how calculated that is by the label. And then, I got this new group that kept popping up on my feed. And it took me exactly 0.004, maybe, seconds from being like, yeah, that gives me the same feeling. This is the same shit. Same look, cool dancing, awful fucking song. And wouldn't you know it, same label, and even members of the same competition show that created Cat's Eye. I swear that's how formulaic it is to make a new successful music group to these people. You just do the same shit over and over again. And it works, apparently, because these groups are doing really well. But how? How are they doing well? Do fans of music not see right through this industrial slop farm? Because, to play devil's advocate, these people are really hardworking and chasing a dream. If you watch some of the shit from the members, even in the competition show before they became Cat's Eye or Saint Satin or whatever the fuck, these dudes bled for this shit. And it's hard not to root for that, even if it ended up them just becoming famous through slop maxing. Which is maybe why I care or am making this video in the first place, because it sucks seeing obvious talent and passion get sucked into a label like this. Especially one that's so hell-bent on making my ears vomit. Because time and time again, there's hundreds of examples of these artists who are independent and then go into this label and get used and abused for every single drop of revenue they can squeeze out of these guys until they become a completely different person on the other side of it. Well, let me know what you guys think, because honestly, this whole video is really just subjective, and you may really like their music. In which case, you know, I got this pamphlet for you. Nah, I'm totally kidding. I'm not like the Gandhi of music taste. My shit's probably ass to most people who try to listen to my library anyway, so I totally get it. Thanks for watching.